But then I was like, I wonder what Blue Sky's going on about. And someone mentioned a study that happened over in Germany of a not a universal basic income study, a unconditional income study is what they call it.
Okay.
Essentially universal basic income, but they were talking, I think, unconditional handover of money, essentially. But it wrapped up, I think, April this year, starting in 2020. So it's a little bit old news, but I think it's some really cool stuff that I just wanted to go over it because I think, there are some good people in the world doing good stuff. This was a study done by a not-for-profit as well, fully funded by some very, very generous people. And there was even a documentary done about it, a few episodes, but unfortunately I can't access those. So if I do get my hands on them, I'd love to watch them. But I am not in Germany, and I don't think I can access German TV without some special
About some NordVPN or some shit.
I ain't paying for that, unfortunately. Well, fortunately.
Right. Hey, maybe we'll have to get them to sponsor us one day.
Maybe. It looks like they'll sponsor just about anyone that'll take their money, essentially. So there was a few things. There's a ton of evidence that came from it. Specifically, a lot of the articles that I was reading up on talked about the myth of what do they call it? Hammock? Something hammock? Can't find it.
Control F Hammock.
That's right. It's called the hammock myth. There's a word, I can't find it. Something hammock myth. It's reminded the guys at a hammock. Basically saying that if people don't have to work, then they won't work and they'll become lazy and they'll just feed off the government. And this study was able to disprove that myth very, very solidly. Disprove that myth. So this is the work segment of it, and there's a few other things like they go through the mental health side of things as well. But we'll go through this one first because I think government, if you're watching, maybe you should read this. Stop fucking over people at the bottom. Work. So those who do not work out of fear work better.
Oh, yeah.
Debates about universal basic income often focus on potential labour market effects. Will people stop working or at least reduce their hours? The study results show no one quits, but many start again, which I thought was quite cool. So contrary to popular belief, receiving an unconditional basic income is not a reason for study participants to give up their jobs. The proportion of people in employment is and remains virtually identical in both research groups. So they had a control group that they tested against, and the people that they had in the study to try and keep it as even as possible, as they took on people that were solo and living on their own. For both the control group and the participant group. So the proportion of working people remains unchanged over the entire period of the study. So if it's studying in 2020, that must have been roughly 4 years. And during the pandemic.
Oh, yes, there's November from March 2021 to November 2022 with 8 surveys.
There you go.
Yeah, so comparison group with 1,580 people, income group with 107 people. Yeah.
Yeah, so a small handful of people, but
that's over what you need considered to have quite a good amount of
set
people
of data.
Study. Yeah.
So both with and without basic income, people worked an average of 40 hours a week. But the thing that was quite interesting is there's more job changes. So during the 3-year study period, a significant larger proportion of basic income group changed their jobs. More than the comparison group. These changes primarily occurred within existing employers. These jobs changes began approximately in the first 1.5 years of the payment period, which suggests to me, from my somewhat understanding of this sort of thing, is that perhaps people felt more secure to be able to change their jobs to make themselves a little bit happier, as opposed to the fear of not having something to go to afterwards if they quit their job, so they kind of like feeling that stuck in the job that they're in.
Well, not even just that. They have the amount of money that would mean they have the time to think about those types of things as well. Like, there's a lot of reasons I'm sure that increases it.
After a year and a half of study, people receiving a basic income are significantly more satisfied with their working lives, regardless of whether they have changed jobs or not. Which is very cool. In addition to increasing job changes, the study data also shows that the basic income group devoted more time to further education. The proportion of those who began university studies increased significantly compared to the comparison group. Pretty cool. More satisfaction with income. It's obvious that people receiving a basic income are more satisfied with their income. They also have more at their disposal. This shows that basic income actually makes a measurable difference in the study and that the method works. There's also self-assessment of satisfaction with income. So the comparison group were pretty steady and just above between 6 and 7. The UBI group was sitting up there in the high 7s and 8s, just reaching 8, which is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Reasonable difference. And I think the other thing somewhere in here as well was said that the people were able to save more as well. So a good number of them saved more than they could have. Previously with just...
Do you just want to stop at the bottom of this graph? I just wanted to read at the bottom words.
Sorry.
No, can you scroll? Yeah, there we go. No, I was just trying to see what the
the question: how satisfied are you currently with the area of income in your life? Answer options between 0 out of 10, 0 being completely dissatisfied, and 10 out of 10 being completely satisfied. And
this is
German.
Yeah, no, I was just trying to figure out the numbers at the bottom. Those are the months. Must be 1 year.
Half a year into a year into a... Yeah.
That makes sense. So it only took half a year for that to go up substantially. Yeah,
so when they started... before the start of the study in March 2021... there you go. About half a year into the study in November 21. Yeah, there you go. Been nicely... translated for us. Just a bit of German in between, but that's okay. It's okay. There's a German study.
I mean, I can't say I'm surprised at the results, but it's yet another reason why we should be, petitioning for these types of things. And also, I mean, this person's right. If you aren't fighting for survival, employers would actually have to pay you properly.
Is there... I do this. So the areas they looked at: work, self-determination, well-being, finance, unexpected effects. So the well-being one was the mental health side of things. And then we'll also look at the unexpected effects as well. English, please. There's an English thing here. There we go. Well-being, financial security reduces stress.
Funny that.
The monthly basic income of €1,200 contributed to an improvement in general well-being and mental health. At the same time, participants reported greater life satisfaction and a stronger sense of meaning in their lives. More satisfaction and a sense of purpose. So reasonable group. With basic income, study participants reported feeling that their lives were more valuable and meaningful even beyond the study period. There you go. It's a small increase, but reasonable. With basic income, satisfaction among participants increased more over the course of the study, other than the control group. There's married and unmarried too. Interesting. I wonder if that's because they became married.
No,
hang on. We're talking about population. Sorry. Yeah. Compared to the married people in the population and then unmarried people in the total population. There you go.
Because marriage can wildly affect health statistics, especially for men.
Yeah. I assume they just sort of said flatline, this is roughly where it tends to be for these two groups.
Well, yeah, because also
nice.
marriage can affect, because it can both be something that's one of the more positive things, but then also has related to a lot of stress.
True. Clear improvements in mental and physical health. Participants' assessment of their health also improved in the basic income group. This is particularly evident when it comes to mental health. As measured by the World Health Organization Wellbeing Index, the basic income group was on average above the control group, and this is consistently the case over the 3-year study period. Further indications supporting this finding are the significant reduction in perceived stress and improved sleep. So with basic income, the study participants were more satisfied with their health over the course of the study than those in the control group. And more satisfied with their sleep. Good. So just generally better. I mean, we are talking about fairly small increases, but I assume these will also be averaged out. So
Yeah.
there'll be those that are sitting, above and below as well.
Well, yeah, you'll have a normal distribution pattern within these things, but overall, not surprised, because when you know you can afford to house yourself and have food, gives you time to think about what else you could do with your life and your time.
Participants with the basic income experience less stress. They had greater satisfaction in their personal lives. Basic income group shows notable improvements in various aspects of life that contribute to their overall well-being. In addition to increased satisfaction with their job and income, the most significant effects are seen in their personal lives. Participants with basic income reported greater satisfaction with how they spent their leisure time and rated the quality of their social relationships higher than the control group. It's a nice little increase there. It's good. Keep in mind, this was still very much during the pandemic too. This is 2021, November 2021. Yeah. So yeah, reasonable that people are all kind of feeling a bit meh about these social situations.
Although to be fair, these graphs are starting at 5, which is kind of, I mean, I don't like when they do that. That's really bad.
It is. But at the same time,
it's still
this is the differences between them are about here. Yeah. It's not necessarily where the numbers are
consistently positive within the non-control group.
Yeah. I mean, consistently above, even if it is half a point or less or more.
Well, to be fair, even in that one, I feel like this graph specifically could have some issues where, because the control group are having to actually think about it more regularly. Because I noticed this one specifically had the most lowering out of all of it. So I feel like that one could be also slightly influenced by the fact that being said, I don't think it would go up either.
Yeah, it's interesting because do you feel that what you do in your life is valuable and meaningful? You've had people before, interestingly, 0.4 of a difference. But then as the study goes on, these guys stay pretty consistent, and then these guys really jump up.
You could also argue that top line, if you put next to it one of the other lines you had of the career change, you could probably note that there's some of that happiness, and that it's near the end where they had more career changes and were obviously doing stuff that they actually wanted to, having
once
meaning.
They stabilized and they started to actually make the most of it, I guess. Yeah. So some cool stuff there. So that's well-being. The last one is I'll go through, is the unexpected effects. Same person, your possibilities. The study confirms many assumptions about the universal basic income, but not all of them. Does it change how people think and feel? Hardly. Instead of changing their attitudes, however, it's their actions that change. So expectations versus reality. A study with hundreds of variables examined yields variables examined yields not only expected results, compute.
So had the hundreds of variables examined yields not only expected results, but also surprise ones. Gotcha.
Thank you. My brain did not get the intonation there. Some effects failed to materialize, others appeared in unexpected forms, and even these can yield exciting insights. Voting behavior, which is quite an interesting one. The study did not show any significant changes in the participants' political attitudes. However, this does not necessarily mean that an influence can be ruled out. It is conceivable that political attitudes only change over a longer period of time, or that a state-funded basic income has a different effect than a donation-based one, as in this project. A state-organised pilot project in Finland, for example, found that basic income recipients' trust in state institutions increased. So that's interesting.
Well, I mean, yeah, if the government's investing in the people will feel cared about.
Yeah. Willingness to take risks. So as we talked about the changing of jobs, many people view basic income as a kind of financial safety net that enables them to become more willing to take risks. However, the pilot project did not detect any significant changes in the assessment of their own risk tolerance among the basic income group. Nevertheless, their behaviour is changing in one respect that could also be interpreted as a sign of increasing risk-taking. They are changing their jobs more frequently.
I would argue with that one. That one feels a little loose. Because is it a really risky behavior if you don't have to worry about not being poor? That one feels a little.
It depends how you look at it. Some people, I mean, I think everyone has always been taught, even here in New Zealand, we're always taught the thing of, or our parents, I think, instill in us that you never change your job before you get another one. You never quit your job before you've got the other one signed. You don't quit your job until you've got the other one signed off that you're like moving into the next one. Because
that's what I'm saying.
You don't have the job, you're fucked.
No, but that's the thing is, if you have the UBI, that's where I think it is a little thing to say that, because a lot of that is the financial risk. So if you're taking away that financial risk by giving a UBI, it's not necessarily considered a risky behavior.
Yeah,
that's
true.
More
it's only one aspect
that I'm kind of looking at. It's because it's like, yeah, like it seems like that's a little flimsy.
Yeah, no, fair. I think it's hard to.
Well, I really want to go find this. I'll if you send me the link at some point, I would like to go find this and look at the data files, because that's where I get excited.
I'd really, like there are some things I'd love to like line up. I'm sure they have it in the study that they've like just pulled the bits that they want. But this one's a really interesting one too. Procrastination. So this is the big myth everyone comes up with for the reason to not do UBI. Although a basic income provides financial security, it hardly changes individual attitudes such as procrastination. Procrastination is a tendency to postpone tasks into the future in order to avoid having to do them in the present. Time-related preferences, that is, the tendency to make decisions in the present or to postpone them until the future, or simply put, self-control, remain largely stable because they are deeply anchored in the personality. So it's not about whether or not you get a UBI. It's who you are getting the UBI.
Yeah.
So if you're someone who gets up, if you get an UBI and you're the sort of person that gets like, okay, let's just say you're in the current system and you go to work, you might be someone who goes to work every day, doesn't even think about it, loves their job, or even just like enjoys their job, doesn't necessarily love it, but they enjoy their job, they're able to come home and they're able to do that pattern of things, and it's easy for them, right? If you got a UBI, I'm pretty sure most people would continue to do, especially if they've got good job satisfaction. They're going to continue to do that job, because otherwise what else would they do, right? Then there's people like me who love the job for 5 months or more, get through the first year and go, that was fun, then finds out you have to repeat that every year for the rest of your life and starts to hate everything.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that. I feel like procrastination is very loaded a word, especially if you're neurodivergent.
And that's where the procrastination comes in of, I don't want to do anything. I have no motivation. I'll do this later. Whereas if I'm the person that's like in the zone, I'm like, I'm going to do all of it now. So,
well, that's where for me the word procrastination is actually the issue, because a lot of the time what people attribute to neurodivergent people as procrastinating, it is not procrastinating. It is your brain either being a dick to you and saying, I don't have enough dopamine right now, so fuck you. Or, I don't know, you're feeling really stupid, anxious about all these other things that are playing out in your head because you're autistic and social stuff is really fucking hard sometimes. Sometimes there's more things going on.
Yep. It's a funny one. The question was how well does this statement describe you as a person? I tend to put off tasks even when I know it would be better to do them right away. That's the question. So do you relate to this? And people were sitting 5 to 6, so yes and no. Not crazy.
Was that was out of 10, so that was average. There's
just average. I mean, I would say most people are like that, right? They're just like, I can do it later. It's not a big deal, as opposed to someone who's probably more than just I'll do it later. It's more of, well, I could do it now, but then I have all these other and there's a whole package that comes with the I could do it now.
Or worse, you go to start doing it, and then the first thing you have to do as a part of it makes you think about something else. So, like, an hour later, you're like, oh, fuck, that's right. I was doing something else, wasn't I? Fuck.
Or then you go, I'm going to go clean the dishes. Or I'm going to cook. And then you realize there's too many dishes on the kitchen, so you can't do anything because then you have to do the dishes. And then you're like, thinking about doing the dishes makes you really tired. So I'm going to order takeout. All the nuance. It's all the nuance. Yeah, but anyway, that was a fun little study that I thought I would show you guys because it's positive for UBIs, I think. Overwhelmingly positive results, although they might not be significant as perhaps they'd like them to be. But I think in comparison or combined with a lot of other studies that have been done around UBIs and similar type, maybe not specifically, but similar type things. Overwhelmingly, the evidence says that if you support people financially with their basics and they're able to be housed, Finland did a really good housing. Not even a project. Yes. It was just general housing.
An initiative.
Initiative which helped people who didn't have jobs get into a house so that they eventually had all the things that they needed to then enter the workforce because they were able to clean themselves and feed themselves because they had, a house and money to do so. So there are so many projects and studies and initiatives that have gone around the world that continue to say that a UBI is a very good thing to do. In fact, it would probably realistically boost people's or a country's GDP productivity, as opposed to make people run lazy.
The Scandinavian countries, tend to be happier in general. And also, they have really high tax rates.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know that in order to have these things, we all pool our money together, and then we're sussed. Not just pool it and then give it to some rich twat.
But they work so hard for it. They work so hard for that $2 billion or that $6 million paycheck. They work so hard for it, Magenta. They deserve
so hard
that money.
They need a helipad at their house because the closest one is a 15-minute drive away from their house. Like, so hard.
What if they want to go to Back and Save? They have to give 15 minutes to go to Back and Save.
Shopping with the paws.
I have to drive like the rest of them. Ugh. No. Helipad, please. Helipad to take me to my private jet at the airport, thanks. Exactly. And then I go fuck off to the Alps somewhere.
Well, it actually reminds me, there was a petition I saw earlier today that I think you guys might like. It's very much on the vein of what we're talking about. I saw a friend of mine sent me this, and it's politicians must have skin in the game. And it's basically down to, pointing about it's not punishment, it's about alignment. When politicians' families depend on the same emergency department, surgical wait lists, and special services as every other New Zealander, healthcare policy becomes personal. Suddenly, ambulance response times, staffing levels, and equipment availability aren't abstract budgets to them. They're a matter of family welfare. Like, it's a really, like, I mean, I'm going to put it into the chat, but I think this is a really, I don't know what it would be able to do, but I think it's really pointing out something that seems to be kind of like a glaring issue within politics, is that we, other than, you know, some people like, say, Barbara Edmonds, you know, who's actually a real person and you know, is embedded,
real emotions.
Yeah, embedded in the community that she lives in. You know, again, she knows her kids are good, but she's doing it for other people's kids, you know. And like, I do think that there is something to be said about the fact that, like, maybe we should have, I don't know, something in there that says maybe we need a certain percentage of, like, people who come from, you know, more real backgrounds. You know, having people in there that actually can speak and make policy on behalf of the people who actually need these things. Because when they sit up there and they're not utilizing these services, they're not having to sit in waiting rooms and hospitals, you know, and all these different things, you know. They said, we challenge every MP to publicly commit to this standard in 30 days. Health Minister Simeon Brown should lead by example. If he truly believes in his healthcare reforms, he should be the first to demonstrate his family's confidence in the system he's reshaping. His willingness to accept this challenge will show New Zealanders whether he's reforming healthcare or just managing its decline while keeping his own family safely insulated. I mean, it's a pretty clear challenge. And honestly, me fucks with it.
But will we ever see it happen?
I mean, unfortunately, probably not. But I mean, the more feathers that get ruffled, the more conversations that are incentivized and had. Like, you know, wasn't that long ago that we were talking about this thing or that thing, and the more we talk about it, the more it gets into there, and the more these conversations happen, then, you know, the more we might see something.
Another thing that echoes what Chloe was saying too. She was saying the same thing, you know, these things, you know, we keep pushing them and these ideas, and sometimes eventually the dam cracks and we see that change happen. So yeah, just,
I mean, we're seeing it. I agree. Like, as it is,
keep pushing.
The fact that Te Pāti Māori exists and have done what they've done this last year. Yeah. Like, there was not that long ago that was unfathomable to most people. So shit changes if we keep pushing for it.
For sure. Right, I see lots of starred things in our stars.
Oh yeah, so I was starring some random shit in there, don't mind me. There's some good comments I saw.
I'll go from the bottom. Kai Matata with, what about a UBHNI Universal Basic Hearing News Income?
I'm down for that. Not just the patron one.
Patrons?
Universal.
Kai Matata again for $2 says, yes, I'm for UBI. Undermine billionaires immediately.
You know what? I'm here for that.
Jeremy has come with a late fee at 10:08 p.m. A whole hour.
Late as.
Don't know about that. That's good old Gary. We would have an abundance of creative arts and music and a decrease in mental health issues if we had a UBI. Absolutely. Also, the people that can do those unpaid jobs, or those, what are they called? They have a word, basically, like looking after your children and looking after you elderly folk and all those sorts of
just unacknowledged, generally unseen.
Unseen jobs, I think. There's something like that. I can't remember what it's called.
I mean, all that invisible
work. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. It's invisible work.
No, it's definitely not volunteering. It's not volunteering, guys.
No. I'm going to volunteer to look after my children today.
Right.
And then tomorrow I go back to work.